We've got stories to tell, how the human race should be erased from space. We're horrible people and deserve to die. If you don't believe me, then I'll tell you why. We've caused genocides and mass extinction, humans causing bad pollution. Amazon is burning down, California's on shaky ground. Ted Cruz in Cancun, people deny the moon. Gun crime is on the rise, hypocrisy and evil lies. Leadership is on vacation, God is doing tax evasion. Police increasing jurisdiction, overdue for extinction.
Welcome back, you beautiful bastards. It is I, your overlord of improv, purveyor of comedy, and the doc in charge of your weekly dose of laughter, Justin. How have you all been? I've come to you this week sleep-deprived and ready to check myself into an institution. I blame it on, what, the phase of the moon, the alignment of the planets? But, honestly, who subscribes to that bullshit? How about you, Anthony? Is your sanity intact?
Actually, sanity is kind of checked out for... How old are my kids now? It's been a little bit of a time lapse in my life. Though, speaking of sanity and mental health slips, today I was trying to watch TikTok on my lunch break for, that good serotonin kick. And the video that I was trying to load when the app loaded wouldn't start playing right away. It froze, and I got a notification at the top of my screen that said connection was unstable. And so I said aloud to myself, in my car where I was alone and nobody else was around to, respond or receive this information. I said, well, so is my mental health, but I still need to find a way to keep working. And then as if the app responded to me, it started to play. So, we're working through our instabilities together.
I joke about mental health, but honestly, since we started this podcast, mine's definitely improved. I think it's a great creative outlet, lets me take my idle time and do something useful for it, so I'm just not sitting there singing Hawthorne Heights all the time.
Right. And I do agree about what you were saying with the whole planetary alignment and retrograde nonsense. I've made jokes about other people, or not really about other people, but kind of like at the expense of other people who make those posts about like, oh, Mercury is in retrograde, so that's why everything's chaotic right now. And I'm just like... What? I don't care about Mercury being in retrograde or out of retrograde or whatever it is that people who lick crystals for luck or shove them up their ass or whatever, whatever it is they do. It's, something that I don't understand why people attribute stars and planet alignment to their lives being a mess. And then after Mercury has left retrograde or whatever causes their lives to be fucked up, it's like, okay, now what are you going to blame being a dick or a bitch about all year round, regardless of what the planets are doing? But I wish I had the audacity to believe that star alignments affect my memory or my life being a constant unhinged mess. So that really, just like you said, comes down to a lack of sleep and life event overload, which really bit me in the ass yesterday. Something occurred that I wanted to talk about. Just real quick before we dive into kind of the content. I had a dumb moment yesterday.
Please do tell.
So let me start by saying, my wife texted me while I was at work, as she usually does, about asking me to go to the store to pick something up. I'm already out, so why not go to the store? And I said, sure, what do we need? Make me a list. I won't remember otherwise. And she makes me a list, and I go to the store, and I get the things we need, and then some, because I don't have self-control, so I go hit the candy aisle, and I'm like, well, I deserve a nice Starbucks Frappuccino, too, so I'll get that.
Oh,
of
course.
And so I grabbed a bunch of shit, I rang it all up at the self-checkout, and I was like, all right, cool, pay for it and get out. And I reach back, and I realize my wallet's not in my pocket. Now, what makes this particularly dumb was me and my wife had just 30 minutes before she asked me to go to the store, had the conversation that I said, please don't wash my other shorts that I just wore yesterday. I left my wallet in them. And then she said, okay, I won't. And then 30 minutes later asked me to go to the store to buy things that we needed for home. And I said, you got it. I'm on it. And then I didn't realize it until we got to the store, until I got to the store.
You know what's really handy in those situations?
What's that?
If you have, do you have an iPhone?
Yes.
Set up Apple Pay, so you can just tap your phone and pay.
They don't have Apple Pay at Walmart.
Really? I
Giant
mean,
Eagle?
I try to skip Walmart as a whole. I get there 3 times a year, so this is news to me.
Right, yeah, you would think Walmart of all places would have Apple and Google Pay, Samsung Pay, whatever it is anymore. So maybe this will help people who fell into the same situation I did. So immediately, my first thought was, you fucking dullard. You had this conversation earlier. You knew you left your wallet. You asked your wife not to wash the wallet. And then you said, yeah, I'll go to the store and buy everything we need. So I started having a mini panic attack when I was at the register because everything was rang up. There are people waiting in line behind me to use the self-checkout. And I'm just kind of looking around like, okay, I've got 2 options here. I can either abandon my cart and all of the bagged items that I just rang up and then walk out and pretend like I never came, or I can shamefully take all of the objects back one by one and reshelf all of them in their proper places. Because though I am an asshole, I don't like when people leave shit out of their area, especially when they leave cold stuff on the shelves way away from the cooler section. And so I started kind of having a mini panic attack, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I tell someone to come over and suspend it, or I don't know what to do. So I saw on the card pad, it has a QR code. I thought, well, that's weird. What is there a QR code for on the pad? So I took my phone out of desperation and I scanned it, and it takes you to Walmart's website, where if you have Walmart Pay set up with your credit card saved on Walmart's website, it will connect to your account, and then you can pay with a card online.
Nice.
And so I saved myself, but it was just like, you jackass, you just told your wife you didn't have the wallet. She says, can you go to the store? And I say, you got it, I fucking have this.
And that's a lesson for everybody, to set up a card on your phone for Walmart in case you forget your wallet. That's a hack. Your dumb becomes their hack.
Exactly. My dumb is a lesson for all of you, so I'm hoping that you can you can do that. Also, inappropriate thoughts plague me at most times of my life, as I think I mentioned last episode, or maybe it was the episode before. I think it was the second episode. I have impulsive thoughts that are bad, and I mentioned the Little Caesars pizza that wasn't fully cut, and I said I hope that the people who were responsible for making it weren't emo in their younger days, because it would explain why they're still here. And then you proceeded to give advice about cutting yourself, and I thought it was probably a tiptoe in the dangerous direction. But regardless, so I was scrolling through Facebook today, and I saw that someone who I had worked with previously, their mother had died. And I was like, well, that's very unfortunate. Like, it's never easy to lose a loved one, and there were a bunch of condolences and all of that. And there's something weird, probably a psychotic feature of me, where I'm just like, how did they die? And it's no business of mine. I don't know the person remotely, personally, but I'm just like, someone died. I wonder what caused it. And I just start digging through the comment section, seeing if they mentioned how their parent died.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I'm not alone in that. I hope that you also are a psycho.
No, I'll continue, and then I'll put a weigh in on this.
Okay, all right. So I start scrolling through all the condolences, and I'm like, I wonder if someone in here was close enough to her that they're like, what happened? And she's like, oh, it was this and this. No, what I found, though, was somebody said, well, doesn't she live on so-and-so street? And my initial thought was, well, obviously not anymore. And so I thought, that wasn't very sympathetic of me. I felt it was relatively bad for it.
Maybe she does still live there, and now the place is just a little bit more spoopy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it living. It's more like squatters' rights at that point.
So I think you hit on something like common amongst everyone who's still alive. Like, when you first hear someone's died, the first question is how. It's never like, oh my gosh, my condolences, I'm so sorry, that's horrible. It's always the curiosity wants to know, like, but how did they die?
Right.
I think it's just pretty common. Some
sick obsession with, well, how did they kick the bucket? In case it's entertaining for the rest of us.
That, or maybe it's something primal. Like, we want to know how or why they died, so like we can avoid the situation and also not die. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know what it was.
I've had some stupid in my week too, and it wasn't my stupid; it was other people's stupid. So, one of my job responsibilities is in road construction is directing traffic at times, and we were out painting lines today, and the oncoming traffic like coming towards me that the other guy was directing, he went to send him in the other lane so as they wouldn't drive over fresh paint. This old fucking lady proceeds to swerve around the guy directing traffic into the lane she was told to get in, only to swerve back into the lane with fresh paint. And we're doing like a crosswalk, so it's not like you're just gonna drive over the the middle lane and you know you're gonna mess up the whole fucking crosswalk. She gets within like 2 fucking feet, and the guy running the machine, who's in the middle of the fucking road still painting, looks up in time to not get hit, and like just starts like this lady like runs over a fucking cone. Like she swerved around fucking cones to get back into the lane.
She went in that lane real bad.
Like, if any of y'all out there do like road construction or direct traffic at any capacity, you'll fucking understand. This is like a common issue. Like, rewind to like last November-ish, we were putting up Christmas lights around the town, and I had like this old fucking lady like clip me. Like she like just like, and I mean, like, to hit me, she almost hit the mirror on the truck because, like, we were off the fucking road. We weren't on the road. We were off the road in a parking space behind a parked truck with flashing lights on. And she managed to hit me, like, brush my coat. Like, the guy said my face went, like, white as, like, a fucking ghost. And then we called the police to, like, we're like, hey, look up this license plate because we knew she lived in town. We're like, please go have a talk with her. She almost killed one of us. Speaking of, I had another old fucking person. Like, so the rule of thumb is when you're setting up a work area, you want about a little over a semi and a trailer length away from the work zone, so you're trying to keep them small so you can keep traffic flowing as quick as possible, but it's enough so a large semi with a trailer can get in and safely get around you and back into their lane, right? So that's like 4 car lengths, right?
Right.
No, this old fucking lady came within inches of running me over before she lazily moseys her car over into the other lane. And of course, I'm going to let you fucking hit me. You want to pay my retirement? Peel me over that fucking hood, baby. I don't need my legs. I'll sit in a fucking wheelchair the rest of my life. I get to retire at 35. That's on you. I don't care about your conscience, I promise. I just want that sweet, sweet retirement.
It sounds like what you need to do is find a road sign that says speed bump ahead and then just lay down in the road up in front of it.
I feel like it. I honest to God feel like it. I mean, the amount of times I've almost been hit or run over by people like on their phone, just not paying attention, staring at you directing traffic instead of the fucking road. They're like, oh, what's this guy in bright green and reflective doing? I don't know. Better get closer to find out.
It's like when you drive past an accident on the highway, you turn your head and then hit the person in front of you.
For sure. Like, people gawk way too much. But this is my own little personal misconnection ad. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You ready
Go for it.
I was directing traffic.
Oh god, there's music in your ears, aren't there?
No, there's not actually. There's no music.
I thought you queued up some sad music for this to get in the mood.
No, this is just the music that lives in my head. Okay.
Okay, by all means then, go on.
All right. I was directing traffic. I was wearing bright orange with a green reflective vest over. You drove by with a coexist sticker on the back in the passenger seat screaming, "I love you, Justin!" I smiled and waved. My heart, it skipped a beat. She does love me, but who is she? if you hear this, please message me on, I don't know, Overdue for Extinction. Find any one of the posts I made and find me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok at The Spectral Vagabond and message me. Let me know who you are. I'd love to love you back. It's kind of lonely these days, so if there's any chance you're listening, tell me what color the car was, and I'd love to go get coffee sometime.
I think it's pretty rude, though, that someone drove by at you while you were working at you. She wasn't trying to hit you. At least I don't think she was. But pretty rude that she yelled that she loved you, but there were no tits involved.
I mean, yeah, that would have made better. I would agree. I mean, no one outside of like dudes, I think, have ever flashed me while working, or like blown kisses, or like anything like you think might be like a sexy or a flirtatious cue from someone you might be interested in. No, it's always your buddies. They exclusively try to see how close they can get to running you over, and then like message you, ha ha ha, that was funny, I almost hit you. Or they're like, look at my tits as they drive by. It's never anyone you want.
Now, Justin, I wasn't planning on cramming 500 other segments into today's episode other than the ones that we had laid out already. But if you need some unlicensed therapy, we can talk about that you're getting catcalled by men, if that would make you feel better.
That would make me feel better. What do you suggest?
I think you have to flash your tits back.
I could. That's bold. That's bold. But I think that would get their attention.
In my professional opinion, I think you have to try to derail their plan and pull your dick out at the very least.
Well, that would get me a decent exposure. I mean, flashing my tits is a little far, too. I mean, I do enjoy making money. I sometimes hate my job, but maybe it'll find me true love, though. And if it finds me true love, I think that is the key. Tits for love. Hashtag, we're hashtag tits for love.
Yeah, let's get that hashtag trending everywhere on Facebook and Twitter. We joke about someone yelling at you that they love you should have also shown you their tits, because it seems only fair to demonstrate that love.
Right.
However,
that is a form of love. Tits are
we
love.
make that
hashtag
joke.
Tits are love.
Yes, tits are love. Another hashtag. Good work being a social media influencer. But however, I think you're gonna find that you're gonna do all this, tits out for Justin. Another hashtag there too. You're gonna do these tits out for Justin hashtag, and then you're gonna find out like 3 months down the road when whoever it was does eventually somehow come across this podcast and starts listening from the beginning, and they're gonna message you, and then you're gonna find out it's someone that you consider like a sister or something.
That's all right. We do live in T County.
I said you were like a sister. You're not my sister.
Anyway, should we dive into someone else's dumb?
Yeah, I think we've probably demonstrated enough, so I'm ready to jump into the meat of things.
All right. Well, we brought these back. You and Russ used to have them. We're doing icebreakers, and we're doing Would You Rather.
Oh, Justin.
What now?
How much does a polar bear weigh?
How much does a polar bear weigh?
Enough to break the ice. Ah! Ah! Ah!
I hate it here! Are you ready to hear this week's Would You Rather?
Yeah, I hope you've brought a good one to really ponder on. So if you're ready to present it, let's go.
Yeah, when I first read this, my stomach turned. So I hope it has the same effect on y'all. Would you rather cut your eyelids off with a pair of scissors, or pull out all your teeth with a pair of pliers? That's
a tough one. That's got some jigsaw shit written on it. Though I do appreciate these ones a bit more than the ones that are like, you have to fuck one of your parents. Are you gonna fuck your mom or let your dad fuck you?
You know what the other one was? Before we get into this, what one of the other contenders
God.
was?
What was the other contender?
Would you rather drink a cup of your mom's period blood, or a cup of your father's semen? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one float around quite a bit. Surprisingly, people have very planned responses to that one, so it seems like something people have thought about before.
But I mean, keeping with the topic of self-harm from the instructions to cut yourself, here's eyelids or teeth.
Okay, so I have poor dental structure, and that's partially contributed to when I was a teenager. I hated brushing my teeth. I don't know really why I was so against it, because now it's come back to bite me in the ass, and I've got all these cavities and bone density loss and everything else, so I've had teeth pulled. And even though I'm numb, that shit still isn't fun to go through. Now, I'm assuming that in both of these scenarios, we're not including anesthesia of any kind.
No, I'm assuming not. No, it's just like straight up like self-harm.
So, what bothers me about the eyelids is if you cut off your eyelids, you no longer blink. And if you're no longer blinking, you're going to have like the muscle memory of blinking, and you're just going to start squinting a lot, I think, as a response.
But
and
how
then
are you
get
going to squint without eyelids?
Well, you would still squint. Your muscles would work, right? Just not your eyelids.
Okay. True. Okay, continue.
I don't know. I guess the eyelids are essential to it. Like, you have the cheek muscles that would bunch up, but otherwise, that's going to leave you real creepy looking. And if you pull out all your teeth, it's going to be real painful, but you could still fit in West Virginia and find love.
Right. I mean, Grammy made it 50 years without her teeth.
Grandma used to give the best gum jobs.
That's right. We call them gummers.
Teeth don't get in the way.
That's right. But also, like, as a consequence of cutting off your eyelids, like, your eyes are for sure gonna dry out, and you're just gonna you're gonna lose your eyes. And
they're gonna look like SpongeBob when he got trapped in Sandy's dome for too long without water.
Absolutely. But it never says. Okay, but like also it never says you can't get them stitched back on. Like, that would also be painful. Would your body accept them?
Well, it's not like an organ. It's an external skin flap.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't, but could you imagine how painful if you don't get the right medicine and take care of them well? How painful an eye infection is going to be?
Also, there's no stipulation for how long you have to pull out all your teeth. It's not like you're sitting there playing that like game, that alligator crocodile game as a kid to pull the teeth, you know?
I got that game for my kids.
You're not like speed pulling your teeth out, you know? I mean, like my grandpa didn't have dental insurance, and I still have his tooth in a bag, and the pipe he used to he just took the end of his tobacco pipe underneath his tooth and just popped it right out of there.
We're built way different. We're too soft for shit like that now.
Yeah, we are. I'm not even. You pansy ass. Yes, Grandpa. I am a pansy ass, and I'm proud of it.
Yes, Grandpa. Do you want me to suck your dick again?
Oh, this went way weird. So you're on the line of pulling your teeth out then?
No, I'm gonna go with eyelids. I think that the teeth are gonna be an issue because there being so many, but the eyelids you only gotta do 2 of. I don't know if at any point you will black out from the pain, or if you're just gonna feel it the entire time. And then if you get your wisdom teeth taken out, your face turns into a puffer fish. So I don't think teeth are the way to go. I think I'm gonna let my eyes dry out.
I have to go with pulling my teeth out with pliers. Like,
and then he gave Grandpappy the gum job of his life since Mammy passed away.
Like, I gotta carry the family torch on this one.
Is the family torch giving Grandpappy a blowjob?
No, pulling your own teeth out.
Oh, okay. I was concerned. I mean, we were talking about West Virginia, so it wasn't too outside the realm.
I'm here, Grandpappy.
I know you've been so
60 years.
You've been so alone since Mamaw died. I decided that I would fill in her position, and you can fill in my position.
And please, family, forgive me for what I'm about to say. I dug you up and everything.
Oh no. I hate that you went necrophilia on this, because when I was going through and reading the episode layout that you made, I was like, let's see what the topics are we're going to talk about today. And I went through, and I think there are twice in the segments up ahead that I talked about necrophilia jokes. So I feel like we've reached the theme of the episode already.
I can't lie, I haven't looked at any of your notes yet, so...
Maybe the episode name is going to be Cracking Open a Cold One.
All right, so we differ on this one. So, let us know what you guys think. Would you rather?
Yeah, we'll do a poll.
Yeah, we'll do a poll. Let us know. Would you rather cut your eyelids off with a pair of scissors or pull your teeth out with a pair of pliers?
Brings us back to Jigsaw. I want to play a game. Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm ready to move on to anything else other than thinking about cutting my own eyelids off.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to go on?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so folks, you should know that I was responsible for writing this week's episode and bringing you this wonderful material, and I thought, what's the most fucked up things I can find? And I brought them to you.
I absolutely want to be 100% clear that I had nothing to do with any of these. I did my best to stay with the program, but I did not create this episode by any means.
So, I think this is our first Wiki How that we've had since being back.
All right, I've got some questions about the process.
Oh, just search Wiki How. There's a lot of useful information there.
Oh, awesome. Let's see here. How to interpret a dream about seals?
Who needed that? Try rephrasing the question.
Good idea. Okay, how about how to become heartless?
What the fuck, Wiki How? You were just like, I never heard of Wiki How until we started this whole thing, and you're like, oh yeah, that's one of the segments, and I'm like, what the fuck is Wiki How? So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll go there and see if I can find something. And literally, like, there's like a list of like suggested things that you might want to know, and this was like number 4 on their main page of like, oh yay, bro, you should check this out. This week, and what the fuck Wiki How is, how long does it take for dogs to get unstuck after mating? And if you're not aware of this, it's called the copulatory tie. So after your dog gets done mating, the male's penis stays swelled inside of the female for at least 5 minutes to like maybe an hour, and they're just stuck together, tied together, dick swollen inside, can't go anywhere, just chilling. And the entire article, I won't bore you with it because it goes on to tell you, like, you know, should you try to separate your dogs? Don't separate them by force. You could hurt them, you know, like how to stay calm, how to sit there and pet your dog while they're, you know, and it specifically, it says, calm down the bitch, sit with her and pet her and give her affirming words.
I like to use the term the bitch.
Right. That is the proper term. That is not a
I get it.
Right.
But I would like to point out that when I try to calm Kristen by sitting down next to her and petting her head, it usually isn't very calming. It probably especially wouldn't help if I called her a bitch in the process. So. Right.
So eventually, like the dogs end up ass to ass. And my big question is, like, y'all just sitting there pounding it doggy style. How the fuck are you twisting your dick around so that, like, it's not only still stuck inside, but you, like, one leg up and over, and now you're twisted around, and your dick's, like, hanging out between the back of your legs, and you're just ass cheek to ass cheek, just chilling, like, you know, like, so did you go coffee with Tim this week, or, oh, yeah. How's your mother-in-law doing? Oh, yeah, cool. Does your husband know what we're doing? I didn't think about this. Was he going to catch it? What time does he get home?
So I actually have an answer to this because I'm one of those people who do a lot of dumb things but are smart in practice. I know a lot of things but not necessarily a lot of useful things. And we had this experience happen recently where our dogs, one is a boxer pit mix, I think, and the other one is some kind of Shar-Pei mix of some kind. But in any case, they don't care what each other is. The male dog has mounted the smaller dog because he can, and I remember the first time this happened. Kristen called me while I was at work, and she was just crying, and I was like, "What's wrong? What happened?" She's like, "Piggles mounted Juno," and I said, "Okay," and she's like, "Now they're stuck together, and I don't know what to do," and I was like, "What do you mean they're stuck together?" And she's like, "He's inside of her. I tried pulling him apart, but they won't pull apart." I was like, oh my God. I was like, what do you want me to do about it? Why did you call me? She's like, I want you to come home. I was like, do you really want me to come home? She's like, no, but I also don't want to deal with this alone, so maybe. So I've had some experience with this because apparently they get horny when I'm not around, and this is something that happens where apparently he doesn't even get inside of her a lot of the time. He just humps the air in her general direction. It's like I think he's gone kind of mentally deranged. But in any case, do you have a dog or have you ever had a dog?
Oh, yeah, we had tons of dogs growing up. We've only ever had one male, and let me tell you, like, when he claimed, like, a stuffed animal for his, 'cause he was neutered, he's an inside dog, didn't get out much, like, when he was feeling randy, you knew it. He just, like, picked that stuffed animal up by the mouth, bring it into the room where everyone was, and just fucking thrusting for all his worth. I mean, you knew he was ready to fuck when
he just gave it to the toy.
Yeah, just fucking Mr. Teddy's just dangling in his mouth, like one arm on the ground, one arm like wrapped around the back, like cuddling this thing, like you're my lover, baby.
It's probably bad to look at the dog doing that and go, I should try that out. That looks like it might actually do something.
It seems like Mr. Teddy's enjoying this.
Later on, your girlfriend asks, where did you learn how to do that? That was amazing. Oh, don't you worry about my secrets.
Animal Planet.
It's like that the meme of the chocolate covered whisk, and then the second picture is it clean, and it says, where did you learn to do that thing that I like? It's the chocolate whisk being cleaned. But in any case, so when you let a dog out to go to the bathroom, they actually kind of make eye contact with you while they're shitting, which seems like a really weird, awkward thing to be a part of. But dogs are pack animals, and it's actually a pack defense mechanism. So when you have a dog, they consider you, the owner, to be part of their pack. They consider you the leader most times, unless they don't give a fuck about your authority. So when they're taking a shit and they're making eye contact with you, they're watching you watch them, because you're supposed to be the lookout. If you spot danger, you're supposed to let them know to get away, because they're in the most vulnerable position. So when dogs mate, they end up back to back after the meeting is complete, and then he does, I think he kind of gets down and then he does twist and it like tucks underneath of him. So they're well endowed, lucky them, but they're swollen and they don't unswell for like half an hour or so. So that's how they end up back to back, because they're watching each other's backs to make sure no predators come. If a predator fucking comes and you're stuck inside the other dog, you're gonna be fucked no matter what. Like, there's no getting out of that.
Right.
I guess you could rip the vaginal canal out and get away, but the fucking female's not going anywhere.
No.
So that's why they end up back to back, and I guess it's just flexible enough that they can maneuver into that position. I unfortunately have witnessed it myself.
Like, of course, my demented mind's reading this article, and, like, just imagine, like, either either you're in this situation or you find your kids in this situation. If this occurred to humans, and you walk in on your kid after the first time, like it done banging it out, and they're just stuck in this like awkward position. And you're like going up to like all freaking out, and you're like, "Hey, just calm down. Like, I know this is awkward. Like, oh, hey Randy, how's it going? Do you mind just? We need a moment here. I know this is weird. This is awkward. I mean, I remember my first time, and my parents caught me. I mean, you'll get much better at timing this, so you don't have to, avoid people walking in on you. But like, are you okay? Like, but also like how was it? And you're just sitting there trying to distract them for the fact. I mean, if you have a daughter that some dude's still like stuck inside of them, or if you have a son, like I don't know, like. He's probably still freaking out. Be like, is something wrong with me? Like, what's going on? Like, why won't this thing go down? I must be like a superhuman or something. Like, my boner lasts for hours, Dad.
Why is my dick so spiky?
But like, for whatever reason, I didn't read this article and go like, oh yeah, I wonder why dogs are stuck after their mating. I'm like, what if humans were stuck after mating?
Now, one of the things that I really like about WikiHow is that the articles oftentimes include illustrations. I don't know who's making the illustrations, but under step 1 where it says allow them to separate on their own, there's a picture of what I assume is the owner, or maybe a neighbor, I don't know. Maybe some weird pervert staring on. But she's looking out the window at these 2 dogs who are ass to ass, who just finished copulating and are now stuck waiting for it to unstick. And she's got her hands up on the window, right, just staring out. And all I can think is just like, she's just out there thinking like, why couldn't that be me? Not that she wants to fuck the dog, but she's like, man, everyone else but me.
Right. But have you seen the image below it, though?
No, I haven't looked at it.
It's a different lady on the phone with a thought bubble of the 2 dogs stuck together ass to ass.
That is definitely a different woman.
So I'm assuming like Rocco Modern Lifing it, like she's on a sex line with somebody else, like describing like what they see, and they got like some like bestiality fetish, or
The first woman is definitely a perverted onlooker from another house. I think the second woman is probably the owner of the dogs.
Well, I mean, underneath of it does say call your vet if they're stuck for more than an hour. So probably, but I'm just I'd rather go the phone sex worker route.
I like the idea that she may be calling the vet and being like, yeah, they've been stuck together for an hour. I just wondered if you had anything that made my husband do that. Like, I'm tired of him treating me like a rodeo bull. I'd like to get a little more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
so like
that's the thing. Go ahead.
I like to that one of the steps is to pet the bitch, as you stated, and talk to her to keep her calm. So I've talked to Kristen when I saw that this was going to be one of the things we were going to talk about, and I said, did you try doing this with Juno? Did you pet her and try to keep her calm and talk to her? She says no. She says she freaked out, she panicked, she didn't know what to do, and instinctually started hitting both of them to try to get them to dislodge. She said in fact, hitting them and calling them names and yelling at them does not at all help the situation. So when you lose composure, all actions that you do at that point are valid. But sure. I would like to go back to your idea of people getting stuck together, and I think if people did get stuck together like that, and you walked in on them and you're trying to hit them and yell at them, it may only make the matter sexier to them. So some people like to be hit and yelled at, so may not help in any case.
For sure. Or like if you're freaking out, like it's your first time getting stuck together and you're forcefully like trying to get off one another and someone else walks in the room, that also could look really bad from a non-kinky perspective.
I know what it looks like, bro. We definitely did fuck. We're not going to be able to lie our way out of this one. If you could get the butter or something, though... Your daughter has got a grip like you wouldn't believe. Like, I mean, fucking caved in Indian burial ground kind of grip. I think at that point the machete comes out, and then you're not stuck anymore. But you do not need to go to the hospital.
You do not. But like, depending on like, I mean, if you're like stuck in there, like your balls deep in, and like someone starts swinging the machete, like, I think like more than just your dick's getting cut. Like someone's losing a leg at that point. Anyway, which brings us back to who needs your legs anyway. If you're interested in peeling me and paying for my retirement, come find me at work.
I was going through the rest of the picture, seeing if there was anything else entertaining worth talking about. However, there are things in here that says you might also like, and then one of the WikiHow articles is how to sell puppies, which seems relevant now in the situation. And register a dog without papers.
How to get your dogs to stop eating rabbit poop.
That's one of them?
Yeah, it is one of them for me.
Oh, I see that one now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know why you care that much, but all right.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things on WikiHow. It's certainly a wealth of information. It gets real weird sometimes. There's stuff on there like how to force yourself to dream about your cat, and then how to interpret the dreams about your cat. So there's a lot of weird shit on WikiHow. I think it'll be fun to explore from time to time and see what educational we can get ourselves into.
I will not forget your first reaction when I sent you the link to this, and I'm like, we're covering this, and you're like, and I was like, no, that's a hard no, we're not fucking covering this. And I'm like, out of all the fucking shit you've covered, I'm like, trust me, we've got something here. I am not giving up on this article.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, man, it's going to be hard talking about dogs fucking and making that funny.
No.
I did have a dog try to fuck me though one time. Not like I was asking for it or anything. I was getting involved with my first wife, and we had a Rottweiler at the time together, and well, he saw that the position that I was in looked awful familiar to what he's come to know. So he jumped up on the bed behind me, and I felt him sniff at me, and I was like, no! I fucking swatted back at him. I said, you fucking try to put your dick anywhere near me, and I will fucking cut it off and stuff it down your throat. Things... He was not allowed into the bedroom after that, so...
I had an ex-coworker who had an ex-girlfriend who liked to get friendly with her dog. We'll put it that way.
I wonder if that ex-coworker is a cousin of mine, because I'd heard that there was a cousin of mine who had been involved with a dog.
And I'm like, bro, why not? Like, he was proud of it too. Like,
oh, it was a male. No, mine was a female that let the dog fuck her.
No, it was it was his girlfriend. He was proud that his girlfriend let her dog fuck her.
I'm going to put a name in the Discord because I don't want to say it out loud. Is this the name?
No, it is not.
Okay.
No.
So multiple dog fuckers out there between the two of us.
Absolutely. If bestiality is your thing, I try not to kink shame, but
I think we have to.
If consent is crucial, and I'm not sure they understand consent.
I don't know that putting peanut butter on your... Yeah, I don't think putting peanut butter on your genitals is a consent form that they can sign.
What? Their tongue can't spell their name?
It might feel like they're trying. The good news is... The good news is... The cousin that I was told had allegedly been letting a dog fuck her apparently ended up pregnant. Not by the dog, as far as I'm biologically aware. But I had heard that this cousin let a dog fuck her, and then like I don't know, a year or so down the road, somebody said, "Oh, by the way, so and so is pregnant now," and I said, "Does it have fur?"
We've come a long way from where we wanted to be. So,
I just want to point out that you're the one that wanted to bring up dogs fucking, so this is your rabbit hole.
I know. I've got a story for everything.
Sorry, Karen.
I wish I didn't, but I did. Sorry, Karen. Sorry, listeners. And if the dog fucker, if you're out there listening, Thanks for the content. I'm still fucking disturbed. I had to pass it on to everyone else. You saddled me with this burden. I didn't ask for it. And burdens are easier when shared, so.
Also, I know that we've opened up for people who listen to submit their stories. I'd mentioned to you in jest that, well, not really jest, but I meant that we should do it, but you turned it into a jest. I said we should do an anonymous confessions segment where people send in confessions to awful things that they've done that we can riff on. And you said, was this so that you could still talk about your week and the dumb things that you do? I don't want dog fuckers to send us in confessions. So, like, if we could not include that or kid diddling, anything like that, that would be great.
I mean, if you send them in, if there are legal ramifications, I'm sorry, I feel obligated as a service to the community to turn you in. Like you said, like, kid diddling. I'm definitely not going to share your dog fucking story other than in this instance right here. This one person I know.
Now, I guess if you were growing up and not sure how to find a way to get yourself to the goal line, and I don't know, slathered peanut butter on your nutsack for the dog to help you get there, maybe we'll consider it, but that's a little bit borderline and not border collie.
This isn't personal confessions time, Anthony.
I was going to say, it does sound a lot like I'm like, I don't know, if somebody, anybody that we knew at all, did something crazy, like slathered peanut butter on their nutsack, and let their dog, Frodo, I know I had a dog named Frodo, it's just coincidental for the purpose of this example.
Right. Anyway.
Oh, I miss you, Frodo. Good times we had.
Any other closing statements?
No, I think we need to go before it gets worse.
Christ almighty.
Oh.
Okay. Well, here's bringing back to the top.
We haven't even got to necrophilia yet.
No, we haven't. Full speed ahead, baby. We have another round of Did You Miss Me? You don't understand. I just have to find her.
You should try Misconnections Post.
That's a great idea. To whom it may concern.
Oh, buddy, you're gonna die alone.
Alright, this is titled Lady at Funeral, man for woman, age 50, Houston. I saw you at the funeral. I couldn't take my eyes off you. I think you wanted to look at me, but you couldn't. You just stayed there in the corner. Your hair was blonde. I was wearing a dark suit. I brushed my hand against you briefly, but you didn't react. You were like an angel in the room, full of grief, the center of attention. I really hope there are keyboards in heaven so you can write me back.
All right, so we actually discussed this briefly last week when you first had put it into the notes, or 2 weeks ago, last week? I don't fucking know anymore. It doesn't matter.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
But in any case, we had not a miscommunication, but a differing of opinions on what exactly was happening here. Do you want to rehash that and tell the listeners what your theory was?
Yeah. So when I first found this Misconnections ad, my first reaction was that the lady at the funeral was actually the person in the casket. Because she just stayed in the corner. She wanted to look at you, but she couldn't. You brushed your hand up against her. Oftentimes, if it's a loved one or someone you knew dearly, people do walk by and they place their hand on the deceased members, hands briefly as a last token of affection or remembrance. And they were the center of the attention of the room. Oftentimes, funerals are kind of for a reason. They're centered around, the person who died. But then at this last line, I hope they have keyboards in heaven so you can reply. Right there to me says it all. He was there making eyes at the lady in the casket.
So before I make my counter argument, you reminded me of something. So you said people. I have some experiences at funerals, man. I tell you. The one that came to mind was I have a cousin who's, I want to say he's like 5 years younger than me, maybe. And our grandmother died when it wasn't super long, maybe 10 years ago. So I was like 22, so he was young or older teenager. And so, you said people go up and they'll put their hands on the person's hands and kind of give them a goodbye message or whatever. This motherfucker straight up leaned in with a camera and took a selfie with her corpse. And like, nobody thought that was weird. He then went and showed the picture to his mom, my aunt, and she just like, it'll be a good picture to remember her by. I told my dad, I was like, he took a fucking selfie. He threw up a peace sign with her. Like, do you not also think this is weird? And he's like, oh, people grieve in their... I said, people don't fucking throw up peace signs with corpses, Dad. People don't do that. What are you talking about?
Gang, bitch.
Gang, motherfucker. Don't worry, Grams. I'll catch the motherfuckers that did this to you. I don't know how you combat diabetes, but... another funeral experience I had was with my cousins are all fucked. It's really just a familial trait at this point. One of my younger cousins, she could have been more than 5 years old at the time my grandfather had died. And we had the service, and they had everyone exit the viewing room, whatever you want to call it. And then they closed up the casket, and then they wheeled him out to where they were going to take him to the hearse. And they wheeled him out through where everyone was standing around talking out in the hallway. And my little niece, I'm pretty sure I've told this story before on the podcast, my little niece goes, "There goes dead old grandpa." It's like, oh my God, what is happening? I hate funerals so much, but so long as people like my family are around, I guess it's worth going to them.
I have a funeral story to top your funeral stories, and I didn't plan on talking about this, but now that you mentioned your funeral stories, and I am so sorry, Adam. If you're listening, and you're we have to bring this back up, but I know your mom will not be listening to this here. So one of my very good buddies...
Will she be listening to it in hell?
No, she won't. I hope not. Sorry, she'll be...
I couldn't resist.
She is.
Go on.
Oh, no, she's alive.
Oh, I thought she was the one that died, and you're like, no, sorry for bringing up your dead mother.
No. The story I told. So my good buddy, since I knew from elementary on up, his grandfather passed away, and both him... he was in Japan at the time, and his brother was in North Korea at the time working. And my good buddy wasn't able to come back from Japan, but his brother, or not North Korea, sorry, South Korea. Wrong Korea. Anyway, sorry, there was a funny little skit that went on my head had it been North Korea, but anyway, so his older brother was able to come back, which I'm really good friends with too. So I went to represent the family, and we got there, and his mom went to hug me. And, I grew up with her being, a second mom to me. So I often, anytime I see her out in public, she gives me the biggest hugs and wants to catch up, So, that's common. But in this moment of, pure grief, I didn't know what to tell her. So, my mind goes to warped comedic places, as you've all, figured out by now. So I'm
we're good friends.
Let's tell a funny story about something dumb we did when we were kids that she doesn't know about. Well, that dumb thing happened to be his parents were divorced, and their dad was supplying them with 1980s Playboys that were hidden in the house, and his mom didn't know about. And I was like, yeah, your ex-husband, he give us, mind you, we're 4th, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere around in there. Yeah, he used to give us his old Playboys when he was done with them. And we freaked out one time that you might find the porn in the house. So we took it out into the field and stuffed it down a groundhog hole, and then we tried to set it on fire, and then realized that you'd see the smoke. So we got water and we put it out, and there's just, if they're still there, there's probably like just stacks of Playboys buried in your yard somewhere. And her jaw just dropped, and it was like, oh, ha ha ha, really? And older brother Eric heard me tell the story, and as I got through the line, he just pulled me over, and he's like, what did you just tell Mom? He's like, that was a brother's secret. You were not supposed to tell Mom that. She's like, we're gonna get in so much trouble. And I'm like, dude, you're like 30. Like, this was like 20 years ago. He's like, you don't understand. He's like, my grandpa just died, and you told Mom there's porn buried in her backyard. I'm like, I freaked. I didn't know what to say. What was I supposed to say? He goes, sorry for your loss. You're supposed to say sorry for your loss.
Oh, yeah, just the real basic general grievance response.
Anyway, so what's your theory on?
Jeez. We really just go, hey, there's the track. Let's go. Wow.
Hey, it's all the name of comedy.
Quick edit note. This is for both of us. Let's just do one of the that's crazy, and then we'll do the other one another time.
Yep.
We're at an hour as it is.
Yep.
All right. Okay. And edit note. All right. So my theory was that this was a statue. Well, I think last time we talked about it, I thought it was another person standing in the corner of the room. I didn't think it was the dead person, as you had pointed out. I thought it was an angel of death of some kind or a statue. Now, here's my thing is statues can be really hyper realistic these days. We're looking at like sex robots. I know we could have just gone with robots, but I choose to say sex robots because they're making those things super realistic.
You said we. I think you were looking at sex robots.
I didn't mean we were like.
Okay.
We're not. It's like, hey Justin, what are you doing today? I get off at work at 4. I don't think I have anything after that. Oh, cool. Do you want to look at sex robots with me? I've always wanted to do the Eiffel Tower, but my wife's weird about putting things in her butt.
I wonder if they'll allow us to do a test drive. Let's find out.
You think like the online mattresses where they let you try it out for 90 days, return, no questions asked. What do you do with a sex doll that's been returned?
There are people who restore them, so.
Anyway. Not a sex doll. I didn't think somebody propped the sex doll up against the wall, but that would be hilarious in itself. But I'm thinking like statues can be realistic nowadays. So best case scenario, you look at the sexy statue, and I get statues can be sexy. Have you ever seen a statue of David? He's got his thing just hanging around, just out there for invitation to suck, and that thing is not going to suck itself. So, romance is in the air. Statues shouldn't be excluded. That's my first thought. Alternatively, like I said, it could have been like an angel of death situation. It's a funeral, so angel of death shows up to take the soul away if, that's what you believe in or whatever. Probably why the person didn't respond to being grazed against and not saying anything was it was an angel of death there to do its job. Now, have you seen the movie Death at a Funeral?
I have not.
Oh, it's so good. It's got Chris Rock, Peter Dinklage, and a couple other people I can't remember. But this man's oh my god, what the fuck is his name? I need to Google this movie real quick because it's gonna drive me nuts. Death at a
yeah, that one particular guy. Now that you mention him like that, I've seen this movie.
That one particular guy.
There's that one particular guy.
Why is he not listed in the immediate cast? He's like the brother. I'm so confused. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Tracy Morgan's in it. Danny Glover's in it. It's a good movie. You should watch it. Kevin Hart's in it. So anyway, Chris Rock's father dies, and And so they're trying to have a funeral procession, but like everything goes horribly wrong, and there's a lot of holdups and stuff. And I won't go into too much detail of the story because it's not important. We're not a movie recaps podcast. But one such issue is that somebody gets locked inside the coffin with the dead father, and Chris Rock goes up to speak at the funeral, and as he's speaking, the coffin starts shaking, and they think that his father came back to life. But so an angel of death at a funeral home may be expected. However, I think that the angel of death has already done its work. The person is already dead, which means if there's an angel of death at the funeral, some other shit is about to go down, and it's about to become a whole memorable situation to everybody except for one other person probably there.
See, and bring back, we won't need keyboards in heaven if you're both ending up in the same destination. You could just ask the angel of death to take you to your new lover. If we're going with the woman is the dead person in the coffin.
Now, I am willing to play devil's advocate here, and supposing that you are correct and the person that was being hit on was the corpse in the casket, there are some benefits to this romance. First and foremost, I said necrophilia was coming, and we've reached the point. You have a 100% success chance of landing the attempt to pick that person up. They're not going to reject you for your looks or your social status, so that's a good starting point. And you also, I feel bad for saying this, you don't have to worry about them not being in the mood because they're 24/7 life-size pocket pussy.
Hey, yeah, Corner, you gotta think like special to like preserve it extra like down there. Can you imagine like that's an option when you're your spouse, your lover, whatever dies, and like there's an upgrade to the embalming process that just like keeps you fresh. Or if it's like if your dude or a penis owner dies, you're like, yeah, can you like put that like little inflation module in there and like have a squeeze pump off to the side, but like it's actually just the nut sack, and you just squeeze the nuts to get them hard.
You just take that shit to a taxidermist and make him stitch it up and stuff for you.
I wasn't planning on any of that being covered, but you brought us necrophilia, and my brain went right there.
I would like to also state that in the summer you could cuddle with them to stay cool because their corpse is going to be cold. So, it's a big bonus for people who like to cuddle in the summer because it's a brutal season when you're trying to be intimate with your partner and have a little bit of a cuddle session. And when you want to be intimate in the insertive way, I guess you could get like one of those massage hot rocks and heat it up in the microwave and just plug it in temporarily, warm it up a little bit so it feels a little more lively. I think I just made a solid case for necrophilia, so I'll see myself out.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe you can get an upgrade. Like, make sure you get some audio recordings of you and your lover being intimate, so that when they inevitably do pass, you can have a voice box and pull string inserted into them. So while you're making love to their corpse, you can pull the corpse and hear some of your favorite lovemaking noises from coming right out of your lover, and it'll just take you back.
Justin, that's a dead loved one. They're not a goddamn Build-A-Bear.
I warned you. My mind's a dark place. I want you all to know that this whole bit, I didn't prepare anything for this. This is just me riffing off the cuff of where my brain goes.
Now, when you said that you could possibly look into having them modded, like, a piece of machinery, my thought was you like the idea of having to stick a hot rock up their cooch just to warm them up for your pleasure. So you got someone that does like seat warmers in cars to work on the corpse and put something inside the vagina to warm it up on the button press.
Okay.
You just stick your dick in and you're like, oh, so much better than when she was alive.
Pull the string. Oh, baby, just the way I like it.
She just became a goddamn Woody doll. There's a snake in my boot. Actually, I believe there's a snake in your trousers.
There's a snake in my cooch.
You got a friend in me.
I've got a friend in me. Okay. Anyway.
I don't know if this will be the last episode that Karen edits for us, but...
Sorry, Karen. Anyway, I think we'll just close the lid on this subject and bury it deep somewhere. But
like old gammy gums.
So we have got a new segment for you that we are bringing back. You and Russ also. I don't know. Did you do it once or twice?
Yeah, we didn't do it very often. We had found. So the premise was that these are bizarre laws that exist for who knows what reason. What inspired this one was when I was trying to figure out a trailer for what the old show was. I looked up weird laws because I thought weird laws are interesting. Things like pickles can't be eaten in Ohio on Sunday or something like that, and stuff like that was really interesting to find. There's one that I found. We may have done an episode involving. It was something like you can't ride a camel's back while fishing in a certain state on a certain day or something. It was just weird, fucking bizarre laws. So that was the premise behind this idea.
All right. So we titled this segment, "That's Crazy." Put it in the books. And here we go. We make it illegal.
For what purpose?
Shits and giggles.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Put in the books.
Order! Order the court! The title of this one was You Cannot Die Without a Pre-Purchased Burial Plot in France. So in this, I'm going to butcher this, but probably like Sarpero or something. Sarpero, France?
I saw this city name and I was like, I can't wait for you to have to do this.
Did you think that's like... I have no fucking clue. I don't speak French.
I think the X is a U sound, but I'm completely talking out my ass like the French do. So, fuck if I know. No one listening is gonna know. I guarantee it.
Right. Anyway, you cannot die within the city limits unless you already have a burial plot purchased at a local cemetery. This has to do with the fact that the cemetery is full. So a mayor issued an ordinance back in 2008 and added, offenders will be severely punished.
Which in itself sounds kinky initially.
Right. But commentate, go. What were your thoughts when you read that?
All right, so I did see we had a similar idea. My initial thought was for infants and children who obviously die without being able to purchase a plot of land to die into or to be buried. I guess they're not like pushing themselves in the hole and then covering the dirt on top of them. That's more of a millennial thing than anything else. But
what hide and seek goes wrong?
my thought was the mayor, the mayor being sympathetic to the family members who are like, well, I'm very sorry that you lost your son and daughter. Unfortunately, we cannot bury them without the proper plot of land. And then they're just like, but our baby is just dead. And he's just like, dead baby, not in my jurisdiction. Yeet! And he just flings the baby over the gates of the cemetery. Or I guess if he's going, or if he's going more for accuracy, it's Kobe. Yeeting is for distance. Kobe is for accuracy.
Right. And that's like what happens.
He didn't.
Like, go ahead.
Although Kobe didn't accurately land in the helicopter.
No, but in his defense, he wasn't in control of the helicopter maybe he would have been successful at it. Anyway, like, also, I'm like thinking, like, what happens if you're a tourist on your vacation and like you die, like you're just like in the hospital and they're like time of death, and the mayor just like appears out of nowhere, like, son of a bitch, you gotta fucking live, you can't die on me, we don't have fucking room for you.
I like the idea that he's not trying to resuscitate them aggressively because, like, oh, you can't fucking die on my land. He's just like, offenders will be severely punished. He starts beating the corpse while he's sitting on top of it.
Right. Not on my watch.
I was very clear about this very specific rule. Just really giving it to him. I mean, we're assuming that severely punished isn't a sexual thing. This brings necrophilia back around again. You thought you were going to escape this topic when we were talking about dead Gammy's gums getting one more go round before she got put in the cold ground. But here we are back again, where we didn't clarify what exactly the offenders were being punished by.
The mayor just shows up and he's like, "You're my bitch now."
He's like, you didn't have a plot of burial land, did you? I don't know why I made him southern all of a sudden. You didn't have a plot of burial land, did you? I didn't think so. Zip.
I told you there'd be consequences.
It's like
don't look at me like that.
It's like when you're trying to be aggressive with a woman in a sexual way because that's what she likes, and you're like, I'm gonna punish that ass. And that's what the mayor's like, offenders will be severely punished, and no one knew what that meant until the day that someone who didn't have a burial plot brought their corpse to the cemetery, and he's like, I thought it was clear on my instructions, and then he just pulls his dick out and goes to town on the corpse.
But like, imagine like it's there for like a day or so, like so many people die within like the short period of time that he doesn't get around to punish fucking all of them. So like there's some gas buildup in these corpses, and like how many times do these corpses like fart on him, and he's like, you fucking ruined the mood, look at you now, how the fuck am I gonna punish you? Every time I fucking thrust, you're just fucking shitting on my dick.
I feel like if you're in a position in life where you're fucking corpses, you're not really concerned about shit on your dick.
I mean, I guess technically, like, when you die, that all like expels, but like, gas and bloating would occur. So I mean, that would be a thing. But maybe that's one of his kinks. Maybe this man.
I was gonna say I have to assume that's one of his things. Like if you know that's gonna happen when you're fucking the corpse.
Anyway,
how did we get here? This feels like we. Every episode starts off so fine. It's just like, hey, buddy, how's your week been? Oh, you had some shit moments, some weird shit happened to you. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Anyway, corpse fucking. You thought dog fucking was going to be the worst of what we talked about today? No, welcome to necrophilia. Speaking of necrophilia, I once heard a person proclaim he thought about shoving a woman that he was desiring down the stairs because necrophilia and abuse of a corpse held less of a prison sentence than rape did. You want to talk about reasons to support, not support? God, I mean report. You don't support. You know, like, you know what, buddy? You're making a lot of sense here today. You should push her down those stairs because it will be less prison time. I like the way you think. Maybe I can have a go around if you're done.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm not sure we're digging our own grave on this one.
If we are, hopefully nobody comes to fuck us when we do.
I mean, please do. It's been a while, guys. My body probably wouldn't mind it.
Honestly, I'll be grateful that anyone else has fucked me other than the world. So. Oh my God.
Okay. Well, if you're still with us, yeah. If you're
I don't know. I feel like the numbers that we've been watching go up is just gonna take a sharp plummet after this one.
Thanks for all your support.
Please don't call the police.
I'm sorry, folks. It's not going to get any better from here because we've reached that time of the podcast where we're going to give you the worst of humanity.
Yeah, I think we've showcased quite a lot of it here, but we saved this nice segment for the last of it. So, I think I'm ready to find out if it gets any worse than dog and corpse fucking. Oh my god, who thinks of this shit? Hey, quick, come here, take a look at this.
Why would you show me that?
I don't want to suffer alone.
This is the worst of humanity. All right. What did Kristen bring us this week?
All right, so Kristen has brought us the term. Oh God, I wish she hadn't. Rabid dog. She didn't know we were going to talk about dog fucking today, and the Urban Dictionary word she chose was rabid dog. You have anything that comes to mind immediately?
I yes and no. Like, I'm thinking about, like, rabid dog, like, you're frothing from the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But like...
I've got something along those lines as well. I'm really sorry, Karen, that the words will come from my mouth because, you're going to have to hear this, and I have nothing else to say than sorry.
So, like, rabid dog, I'm thinking, like, frothing from your mouth, dripping from your mouth. So I'm, like, thinking, like... It seems really tame compared to everything else, but, like, something to do with, like, cum bubbles. You're getting cum out of somewhere. Like, you're not just, like, receiving a load. You're, like, getting cum out of something else, and it's maybe you're swapping cum or, like, blowing bubbles of cum in someone's, like... But then, like, because it says rabid dog, you think that, like, there has... I don't know. When I think rabid dog, I think, like, aggressive, like shaking.
You're setting me up real good for what I had in mind.
Go for it, because I'm rambling.
Okay, so I agree. It has to do with cum. God, I don't want to say this. I feel like I'm really gonna taint mine and Karen's relationship, and she's not going to look me in the eye when I go visit her next month. So here we go. Let's just balls to the wall. So Karen, sorry, I don't want to address it to you like I'm talking directly to you. So audience as a whole, it's like I'm gonna go make eye contact.
One particular listener, you.
I'm gonna make eye contact with her very specifically and be like, "All right, Karen, now here's what I think it is." All right, so here's what I think it is. Anyone but not Karen. So I think it's when you go down on a woman, okay? And I think you have to really hype up the rabid mad dog. So you're in there doing your business, and it's going. So you got that going. It's gonna generate pleasure. I'm sure somehow that's what it's gonna do. And there's video. Perhaps if Karen's figured out how to do video, this is gonna be worth watching.
Christ.
If not, we have it archived, and I'm sure I can somehow get this around TikTok guidelines. All right, so anyway, you're down there, mad dog in the vag. You get the girl to finish. I don't need to continue to demonstrate the gesture that you're making with your face as you're in there. But anyway, you're essentially motorboating her clitoris to completion. I don't know if that feels good or not. I've not tried it. I can ask Kristen if she's up for a round of folly or whatever. But so anyway,
aggressive.
It does sound so aggressive. So anyway, you're down there doing your business, mad dog and that shit, and then she of course comes because it's the most orgasmic experience she's ever had, and then you have to froth it up. So as there's the cum is on your face, you're like slobbering into it, you're blowing bubbles into it, you're doing it in milk bubbles essentially, but into the cum instead of into a glass of milk. Just into her vagina. So you're frothing it up on her. I think that's, and then you fuck her doggy style. I think that's what Mad Dog, or that's not Mad Dog, that's Rabid Dog. I just made up a whole new term entirely. I'm gonna have to add to Urban Dictionary if that's not what it is.
You are. Let's go. Let's just find this out. Let's end the madness.
Nothing can be worse than what I just said and the things that were on the camera. Alright, what is Rabid Dog? This can't be
There's
it.
no way. There's no way that's it.
I don't think it's the second one either. Or the third one. I don't know. Oh, okay. Alright. The one that starts with the act. I'm betting that one's it.
And, wait, with the act? Any kind?
The one that starts off the act of ejaculating.
Okay. All right. You want to cover it? You want me to cover it?
So according to this particular definition, and a lot of them are really dumb and unrelated. Oh, there is another one where it's just... Oh, I mean, that's the same one. All right, so the definition is the act of ejaculating into the mouth... Sorry, I'm going to be sick. Just the idea of frothing at the mouth of cum. Anyway, the act of ejaculating into the mouth of your spouse as he or she is in the midst of a seizure, forcing the sperm to foam around the mouth, portraying a rabid dog. Does that sound like it could very well be the definition she had in mind?
It could be. Do you see the sentence down here?
So the sentence that will help you incorporate this into your daily vocabulary was, "Hey Johnny, me and your mom shot H in your bedroom, and I gave her the good old rabid dog while she seizured on my erect penis." I would like to point out that there is another rabid dog right underneath that as the last definition, and this one could also be it. Is when a strange sexual act where a guy ejaculates in a girl's mouth, then she bites his penis. This act makes her resemble a rabid dog with cum as raby foam. My girlfriend gave me a rabid dog last night. I thought it would hurt, but it was actually really hot. So one, you're sexually assaulting a person who's dying, and the other one is the girl biting your dick when you're jerking off into her mouth.
Maybe it's the mayor from the other story, and he sees this person about to seize, and he's like, "Here's my chance!"
Not on my watch!
Not on my watch! That was...
Is that count as being pro-life when you ejaculate into someone's mouth to provide the life that God gave you?
I mean, it's an alternative that's not hurting anybody.
It's hurting me emotionally, mentally.
Okay. We need to end this. This was This was a long haul.
We either have to end this or ourselves. I'm not sure which one is more appropriate or which one may be a better service to the listeners.
My vacation started at like 4:00 this afternoon, so I'm going to vote we not end ourselves because I'd like to enjoy my vacation.
That's fair. We'll just go on living knowing that we created this content and that it will forever exist on the internet somewhere. You want to take us out of here so we can try to redeem ourselves?
Yeah. Well, thanks for sticking around for another demented episode. As we don't even know what the fuck we're getting into. But anyway, you can follow us on all the socials that I should have memorized by now, but I don't. So I'm gonna let you handle the page socials. But you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Spectral Vagabond. That's the _spectral_vagabond. To keep up with my daily life and shenanigans. I am scarred, my friend. Today scarred me, and I don't know. I'm a little dazed, so I have to hand it to you.
I'm sorry. I just need to text Karen a futuristic apology.
Sorry what you're about to listen to.
Wrapping up. So sorry about this one.
Anyway, so where can they find us?
All right, so if you're interested in not reporting us to the the social media platforms in which we are existing on, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Overdue for Extinction, all one word. Facebook, we like to we'll post the episodes, so you can always get them there if you need kind of a reminder that we exist. I feel like after today, though, no reminder is probably necessary. We're gonna be with you for the rest of your life. We also post content related to the episodes. I promise we won't post any corpse or dog fucking related content. I think we'll include that picture of that woman who was looking longingly out on the dogs though while they were fucking in her yard. We'll post episode updates, content related episodes, all that good stuff there. You can follow us. Instagram will be the same deal. In fact, Instagram, if you are looking for the episode content, will be a little bit easier to find that information because we welcome all of our listeners to post on Facebook, memes, dumb stories, anything they come across. Just have a good time. Follow the Facebook protocols because the things that we do and say are pretty borderline getting us kicked off of Facebook. So if one day you see neither myself or Justin, you know that we got zucked.
Absolutely.
Twitter's a little bit.
Where can they find you?
Okay. I got one more. Well, I guess TikTok too. We still don't have any content as of recording this. However, we have plans this coming weekend, which will have happened by the time this episode releases, and you all have been exposed. And I say exposed because that is the correct term that describes what we're doing to you. You'll be exposed to two Mad Men's compilation of ideas for a new album cover for the podcast. And then I'm sure we'll get somebody to videotape it while it's happening, so we have that as behind-the-scenes bonus content for Patreon. Speaking of, Patreon is up and running. By the time this episode releases, there should be 3 continuing stories of Lucian and Caveman. Yeah, we're continuing the story on as they continue to explore what the watches give them the abilities to do. And so for that, I think we're only charging $5 a month is what they recommended. So that's going to be skits continuing that story if that storyline interests you. If not, we're also going to have other content. I'm going to try to get Justin to prepare a list of dad jokes or just terrible dark jokes. And we may do like a 10-minute video exchanging jokes on there. We're going to make a video version of the trailer. If you want to use that to start spreading around, we're going to put it on TikTok as well. We don't have a lot of content yet for video on TikTok, but we will start making things. Once I get you trained to it, we should do like little random updates and stuff, just kind of dumb things posting daily. I think that would get some attention our way. But Twitter is our last place of current place we post. It's more for updates about the podcast, things that we're doing, looking into, and you can find posts that have the links for the episode there as well. Also, if we plan on running any kind of promotion or contest in the future, we'll probably post about it there. Facebook, all this we'll have as well, but posts can get bogged down, so Instagram and Twitter will be important to subscribe to as well. As for myself, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, I think it might be the first time I'm plugging my Twitter. I don't really post these things very often. I kind of forget they exist. I should post them because Twitter's about yelling into the void for nobody to care about. But you can follow me at Unfeeling Dragon. That's UNFEELINGDRAGON. I forgot how to spell temporarily. All one word at any of those places. I got some video content on TikTok. I plan to make more eventually one day when I have free time again. But in the meantime, go see what I've got already there. I think that's about it, though.
All right. Well, thanks for listening again, and stay safe and stay smart, dummies. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Overdue for extinction.